Okay, graphing the cubic function using transformation. Now if I have y equals x cubed, my graph will look like this. And this point here will be the point of inflection. Now point of inflection, just quickly, the gradient is always changing. So if this is the gradient of the tangent is always changing. So that the tangent, the line just touching the line, changes, the gradient changes, and at some point it jumps to the other side of the line, and then the gradient carries on this side. The tangent is then on the other side. Now that point where your tangent to the curl, at some point, that point where it jumps to the other side so it can carry on this side, is called the point of inflection. Okay, and in this case it's 0, 0. And it looks actually a little bit better than this, but it becomes too hard to draw. This will be when a equals 1. Now, we already know that a is our dilation factor. So in this case, a is 1. Okay, and then if we have y equals negative 1, so if this is negative 1, remember it's reflected in the x-axis. So it's going to come to the bottom and everything is going to be swapped. So it's going to look like this. That is if a equals negative 1. If a is 2 and bigger, every x value is going to be bigger, which means it's going to be stretched with a factor of 2 in that direction. That is if a is, I just use 2, but it can be any whole number. Any number smaller than 1 and between 1 and 0 is just going to be flatter like that. That is when a equals, let's say, a half. So a again is our dilation, our stretching factor. When I have my basic, it looks like this. Let's say that is when h equals 0. And now again, our little problem is whatever h is, it's in the opposite direction. So when I have x plus h, it means everything is going to move in this direction. So everything is going to move in this direction. And my point of inflection will be over here, which means this will be h. And this is then, let's say, x moved in the negative direction. So this will be x plus h cubed. Will look like this. X minus h means it moves in the opposite direction, and it will move in this direction. So this will be for x minus h cubed. For k, the whole thing moves up and down. So if that is when k equals 0, when I move up, everything goes up. That is if k is equals plus 1, and if k is minus 1, everything moves down, so that is k equals minus 1. If I combine all of this, I get y equals a x minus h cubed. You know it's a cube function because there's a cube there, and then I can have plus k. What have changed? What do I recognize? I recognize that this inflection point has moved. Okay, so on my new calculation, it will look like this. That point of inflection over there, the moment it stands still, that point of inflection will be now, in our case, minus h and k. In your textbooks it says h. Either way, just remember that it is always the opposite as in the direction. So if it moved in this direction, then it's minus a. If I say minus h here, this should actually be plus h. Because if that's plus, then it's in the opposite direction of what that is. So let's do it that way. I'm going to keep that plus h, and I'm going to change that to minus h. Okay, so whatever negative that value is, that is then the translation of your cubic function.